Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So we were in court today and we had the presentation of documents by the LP. This time around it was led by Professor Paul Ananaba San, and we had the completion of the EC8B series for some states as displayed on the screen, and we equally had the presentation of documents for the EC8C series, the EC8D series, and the EC8DA. This time around, there were no objections. Do you want to know why? That's why you need to click on that link. And what's happening in Cameroon, guys? Oh God, that's really funny right now. It's a proverbial case of I did not cook in my house and my neighbors are crying hunger. Do you want to understand why they are crying over the removal of fuel subsidy in Nigeria? Click that link. Let's go. Welcome back to my channel. Like I said earlier, if you're just joining me, thank you so much. I love you. And if you have been here before, thank you so much for your comments and everything. I see you and I love you. Now, it's been, sort of a monotonous time in court where we are tendering documents, like I said, evidence. Don't forget what I talked about when I talked about, the relevance of an evidence and the admissibility of that evidence. So we're still tendering documents in court, that is LP. And this time they tendered the remains of some of the states or some of the local government documents that they could not tender yesterday. It was tendered today. We had the presentation of documents, the EC8C series, the EC8D series for the 36 states and the FCT. In fact, Professor Ananaba Sam was like, and the FCT. I repeat again, my lord, and the FCT. And you know what that means. You know, the whole 25% in the FCT, how important it is and all of that. Although I'm sure they're going to get to that point. Remember that PDP tried to get there, but somehow they couldn't get there because the court said they did not have locus standi or they lacked jurisdiction to bring up that particular matter. And the court, the Federal High Court, cannot sit on that particular matter in determining double nomination or disqualification of a presidential or vice presidential candidate. That was what happened. So we're still going to get there in this case, but this time is just tendering of documents, admissibility of that document in the court, and so on and so forth. We've not even started business yet, so don't even go there. So we had the EC8D series also being tendered, like I said, for the 36 states and the FCT. And we equally had the EC8DA, only one singular document, which was presented by Mahmoud to the winner, Yakub Mahmoud to the winner, in quote, the purported winner of the election, the person Bola Ahmed Tinubu. This time, there was no objection. No objection. They agreed, everybody, because that's the singular document that makes Tinubu the president of Nigeria. But I'm thinking, it is supposed to flow from a logic, Abby. We started with, the results gotten from the polling units, and then the collation in the ward units, and then the general collation of that result, local government by local government, and that singular document which sums up everything about the elections. Now, my question is, if the logic is faulty, how then can the resultant effect of that logic be correct? It's just like when those of us who did mathematics in those days, you know how it works now. They'll tell you, show your workings, and then you show your workings, and the teacher is able to follow your steps and tell you, oh, this was where you missed it. Do you understand? And that's why in mathematics, you cannot really get zero. It's only if that answer is not correct, that's when they can minus. But if your steps are correct and maybe you missed it somewhere, you can get something out of it. So it's something like that. If you follow the mathematical calculations, they've been objecting to all of these documents, saying we object, we object, we object. But when it got to the announcement of Tinubu being the winner, they did not object anymore. So if the process of electing Tinubu is 4A, how then did they arrive at the results that they arrived at? It's a deep question. I'm thinking, you're thinking. So I don't know. Especially if these documents are CTCs, duly signed by INEC. And these CTCs, if they are not in tandem with the singular document, which is the form EC8DA, how then can we call Tinubu the winner? Are you thinking what I'm thinking, guys? Whew. Well, that's why we are in court. So let's see, because maybe that final address, I'm looking forward to the final address. Like, I want to see how they are able to puncture that evidence presented by LP, especially if these documents are what they are. Or is it that INEC is going to deny these documents, or are they going to say, oh, there are some sort of mutilations? Because I believe that was what happened in Lagos State. Talking about my the post I made 2 days ago when I talked about Nasarawa State, someone was speaking to me. He's from Nasarawa, and he told me, he said, to be fair, Peter Obi did win Nasarawa State because I think that was where he started his campaign from, and they did not even allow him use the stadium. He used somewhere else. But the young ones who are in the majority of the population in Nasarawa State, they were already tired of the government. They were really sick and tired. They needed something else, something better. You understand? So I don't know. They said that's the majority, and then we have people who are Muslims. Now they would either be voting for Tinubu or for Atiku. So that Muslim vote is already divided into two, which also brings even some Muslims who are not going to be voting because, oh, I want a Muslim, but I want good governance, may still attach themselves to Peter Obi. So at the end of the day, when I tell you that Peter Obi is not only contesting in places where he lost, but also in places where he won, is because he wants to prove to them that if you did not score up to 25% in these places you claimed that I won and you equally had 25%, then what are you doing there? Do you understand? So that's it. Like, okay, you lost here. You're trying to say, okay, I did not lose here. I won. I won here, but I'm trying to let you understand that you did not even get up to 25% that would have even made you to, be acclaimed the winner of the election at the end of the day. So now, lastly, to Cameroon. Cameroon. This just opened our eyes to something. Nigeria equally exports fuel to Cameroon. So the removal of the subsidy will definitely affect the prices there. Now, in Nigeria, we have done nothing. Everyone is going about their businesses, complaining because, of course, fuel affects everything in Nigeria. It affects everything up to food. I hear now that a crate of egg is 2,500 and I'm screaming. I'm like, wow. I remember when we used to buy that for like, is it 200 or 300 naira? I can't even remember again, but I cannot even, begin to imagine it for that kind of price. And a whole lot of things. Someone was telling me I bought fuel 5,000 and it could not even get to pour out of my tank. I mean, what's happening in Nigeria? I will still say this. We need that safe landing, which was not present before that fuel subsidy removal. There was supposed to be mechanisms, programs, policies that would balance the harsh effect of what that removal would have cost, but it was absent. So we are not the only ones crying. Other countries who benefit from the exports that we do are also crying. That is why you see them, crying over there that this thing is, it's too much for us. And we have come out to say this subsidy removal should not have happened. Well, tomorrow we are still going to be in court. And I think LP promised us that they are going to be having the subpoenaed witness statement coming tomorrow. So maybe we might see another, something different from tendering of documents, maybe something different from what we've been having all this time. But Till then, I remain your super girl, Obehi. Don't forget, it is still Obehi and the law always on your screen. Check me out on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, on TikTok, and you will never regret it. Thank you for watching. Drop your comments, your questions, and I will answer them. Have a lovely evening. Bye.